Hey guys, welcome to Chanley Style. I'm Brian, and introducing my friend Jiro.
How you guys doing? My name's Jiro. I used to work with this guy back in the day.
Hopefully he'll be in more of my sea stories, but today we're going to be talking about the Burial at Sea, Bioshock Infinite. Brought to you by Mountain Dew Game Fuel. Actually got an old can of it from back in the day, the original Halo 3 edition.
I did not see that. Awesome, dude. That's cool.
I have no idea how hard it was to hide that from my stoner friends back in the day. They all wanted to drink it. Alright, so anyway, back to Bioshock. Basically, alright, before we get started, huge spoiler alert. If you don't want to know what happened, pause the video, come back to it later after you've played through like the first section up to the first mini-boss. So it starts out, DeWitt's office, just like all the other games. Elizabeth walks in. She looks a little older, bit, we'd say heavier in the face.
A little heavier, a little more distinguished looking kind of deal.
Okay.
She's definitely grown up, I can tell you that much.
Yep, walks in, you know, she has a cigarette. He uses a plasmid, lights a cigarette, which, you know, it shows like what, the first crossover between Rapture and Columbia, would you say?
Yeah, exactly. That's his first connection into what was happening beforehand. And I kind of like the way they started that idea, so that way, you know, you knew what you were getting into. You didn't start off with nothing.
All right, and then so basically, she wants you to help find a little girl. You go, she leaves. You can walk around the room, search for things, and then it prompts you to go find more about Susie.
Yes.
And you go out, and it opens up into a huge, like...
Is it Sally?
Sally, yeah, Sally. All right, so anyway, you go through the office door, and it opens up into Rapture. This huge pane glass window. You look out. Great visual effects. They really amped it up. I was afraid it was going to kind of just look like the same skins of Rapture. But you look out, there was whales, sharks, sea turtles, turtles.
They managed to put in everything that you would imagine Rapture to be beforehand. So I like seeing that contrast, you know, looking through the window, and rather than seeing a dilapidated, you know, environment, you see all the cool stuff that should have been there that you would have wished to see beforehand. It's really awesome.
Yeah, like the contrast between like seeing splicers trying to kill you all the time and seeing like upstanding, like well-animated human beings.
All some civilized people and well-dressed, all that good stuff is really cool. Sea turtles, sharks, whales, everything that was going outside the windows was always something that caught your attention. So
yeah, definitely stopped a couple of times just to look around.
You'd be walking around next to you, and you'd be like, "Oh, whoa, what's that?" It was really cool.
All right. So anyway, you walk. Same thing. Looking out the windows, you see a Big Daddy. He's like drilling and then fixing stuff. You know, like they're supposed to. They're the maintenance men. They weren't really supposed to be mini bosses at first, which was another contrast that I never even thought about. And all of a sudden, he just turns around and like grappler drills away like Spider-Man.
Yeah, that was really cool, man.
I'm kind of scared to fight with those things now. That's a new power.
That was very cool. It was just like, well, where's he going? And he was gone.
So you walk down the way, you can see all the different people like conversating, doing things like that. And then you come across, what was it, Little Sisters in Formation?
Yeah.
But before they were like all like, what would you say, like morbidly changed?
Yeah, they were kind of like a creepy ragdoll looking kind of deal. Like it's like the way that they put it beforehand, it looked like a damaged older version of what they had now.
It was just basically like little girls in suits with painted white faces. It's pretty creepy.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
So then you move on down the way, and you know, you bump into like some hotel manager. I thought it was kind of funny. I love the little satire, like funny things that they say all the time. And he goes, if the man of the house sees you again, he's gonna throw you out on the streets just like last time. All right, apparently Booker pissed someone off.
Yeah, obviously he did.
Hey, that does sound like Booker.
That's definitely Booker. If they didn't say it, I would have been slightly worried.
So anyway, you get over to the end of like the tunnel, you ride up an elevator, and then there's a waiter standing like right in the door, like right when you get up in your face, and he asks you if you want a drink, and then just he fucking teleports to like the next person, lights someone's cigarette, teleports to the next table, gets an order, teleports up, and
he teleports to the bar and starts wiping it down. It was. I honestly, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, I need that power because I can make a lot of money as a way of doing all that good
Right.
stuff.
Fucking crazy way to use plasmids. Never thought of like such an ingenuity way, like bust over, like use some ice powers to like give somebody a freshen up their drink.
It's really cool seeing how they were actually used beforehand, rather than it's not meant to be a weapon. Obviously, I guess not.
It didn't have to be, yeah. Let's see. Same thing. Walk around, you hear like people random conversations, and you go over these two like one kind of a creepy looking guy, another one looking like an old mobster. He's got two flapper girls on his shoulders, and they're arguing over whether being a pimp is like a valid profession in Rapture.
The guy, he was pretty good. Pretty good point. Main point. He's like, so I just provide a commodity that people need, and people pay for it. It's like, it's just like, hey man, you know what? Make kind of sense, bro.
And I got a confession. I'm actually kind of a searcher when I play video games. Instead of actually going through the storyline, I'm like looking around in all the nooks, crannies, like, and it kind of it's not really a good thing for me because I end up having to go back to these places later, just by quest items or things like that. But I don't know about you guys, and I know he did it a bunch of times, but. Searching the garbage cans. You're like a refined ass city. Why are they gonna let you search through the fucking garbage cans?
It took a while for us to figure this out too. We're like, why can't we look through the garbage cans? And then I put myself in the situation, and I'm like, I don't look through garbage cans in normal civilization either. But I guess it's kind of like a gamer kind of little thing that people who play the game just know.
Yeah, right. Especially if you played the first 3 Bioshocks, you always have to look in the garbage can. There's ammo, life. Shit you need.
Yeah, exactly.
So then, we finally finish looking around, basically. Go up to Cohen's?
Cohen's, yes.
Cohen's. And you need to find a mask to get into Cohen's, and that's where we ended up going back through to the same exact places I was already in. Find the mask, and then you go in, and it's like this creepy-ass, like, huge white room, right? It almost makes you feel happy to be in this room, and it's just two little guys, guards.
Yeah, it seems like if you've ever imagined Purgatory, where it's just nothing but like a white everything. That's what it looked like to me. But yeah, after that, we walked into the next room, and it was
pitch fucking black, like you're gonna get your kidney stolen.
Yeah, dude, when you said that was so funny, dude. I couldn't stop
laughing. So then you walk into Cohen's like art room, where everyone's wearing their masks and they're applauding his great artistic abilities, and he's got his muses or whatever, the people you paint.
Mm-hmm. The subjects, he walks into the room, they're sitting in the middle,
dancing.
In the middle dancing with Cohen a few feet apart, painting basically. And he's yelling at them and telling them that, oh, you're doing it wrong, or you're doing this wrong, or
right. And they got like harnesses and little like lines that lead up to the ceiling. This guy's like, oh look, they're the sun and the moon. They're probably gonna get pulled up and they're gonna dance around in the sky. I'm like, no, these motherfuckers are gonna get electrocuted.
I was a little optimistic, and it came back to bite me.
So yeah, I called it on that one. We get to the bottom of the stairs, and they just yank them away.
Yeah, I was like, well, that went differently than I expected.
They still got to fly though. You weren't totally wrong.
I guess you're right. No, you're both right. Thanks, man.
So anyway. He walks up to Cohen and asks him where Sally?
Yes, Sally.
Where Sally was. He's like, I can tell you where the little girl is. Us magicians. Us artists see things that normal people don't see. He kind of leans in all creepy on Elizabeth. He's just like you, my little songbird. All creepy style.
Yeah, that just creeped me out a little bit too. But if you saw this dude's face, I don't want to ruin it, but God, it'll creep you out as soon as you see it. Believe me.
Yeah, he
I
definitely
guarantee you that.
He didn't have facial hair at all, but it was painted on. On top of like the drag queen kind of makeup he had going.
It was a weird mix between a creepy pedophile, a drag queen, and a really refined Frenchman. That's the way I saw it. That's the way I put it together.
I like the way you put that. So anyway, he tells him that he'll only give Elizabeth and Mr. DeWitt the information if they dance. So obviously this seems like a trap from the get-go, but you have to do it anyway to progress the story. I was hoping for the best. Like, we danced, we get the information. But, yeah, you get electrocuted just like the other people.
Yeah.
But this is where I noticed something. That, you know, you're right up in Elizabeth's face, you're dancing, and I looked at her brooch.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It had Songbird on it.
That's right. And if you guys remember on Infinite, you got a choice between whether you wanted the Songbird or the cage. And interesting enough, we would like to know what you guys thought about that option. See if you guys chose one and it showed up in this one.
Yeah, he chose the cage, so we need to go and play his version. I chose the Songbird. You know, it's minute details, but, you know, it's the little things that really catch your eyes sometimes.
Exactly.
So anyway, you basically pass out after you get electrocuted, and you wake up in a bathysphere. And he sends you down to Fontaine's, like, sunken portions of Rapture because Ryan didn't want anything to fucking do with this guy. If you've played original Bioshock, you could see why the timeline would have changed to basically keep Rapture whole and happy versus what it ended up being. So anyway, you're floating along in the bathysphere, and all of a sudden you see like a body shape.
Yeah, that creeped me out. First of all, I thought it was a body, and it turned out to be a mannequin, and somehow that just got it a lot creepier for me because these things were missing arms or legs and like heads.
Yeah, I thought it was a mermaid at first.
Yeah, you thought it was a mermaid.
I'm like, oh, cool, splicers that can swim like fish. Oh, that's a mannequin.
So yeah, you're like transversing through this little aquatic world, and you know mannequins are floating by, missing limbs and heads, and yeah, that got me pretty creeped out.
So you end up at what do they call it? His hardware store.
His hardware store? I can't remember.
Fontaine's Hardware.
Yeah, I think that was pretty simple.
So, yeah, it's basically he has his own little like department store / splicing whatever, but it wasn't going quite the way Ryan wanted it, so it got sank. Anyway, you get out of the bathysphere and you start looking around, and it's like old Rapture. It's kind of tore up, and Booker keeps having these weird flashbacks where he's at like a wash basin kind of thing. And you see like the AD on his hand, and it's kind of fuzzy, almost like he's trying to remember a different time rift because it's got that kind of snow look like an old TV.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking maybe it was from what was Columbia?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Columbia city, and we're just interested to see how the timeline progresses and why he's actually, you know, flashing back.
So yeah, then once you go in there, like I said, it's just like old Rapture, torn up, splicers. They really did a very seamless job of integrating both like worlds. You use the same guns from Infinite, which makes sense because they're not going to redo it to give you the old guns. And it was definitely a perk having Elizabeth around, throwing you ammo and health packs and things like that.
Oh, yeah. One thing that was interesting that I'd like to mention is pretty much as soon as you got into the dilapidated Rapture part, you could start looking at trash cans again.
Instincts kick back in.
That's how it works.
But, so anyway, you go through, you know, I guess one thing that was different about Rapture, you had more money and you had more access to ammunition, so you almost didn't need Elizabeth. But always starting out, you need ammo and things to protect yourself with. Going through, just trying to melee most of the guys to save ammo.
That's my favorite form of fighting. I like to like get up close and personal and kind of like dodge and weave and then do the cool special effects.
Like ripping people's jugulars out and
or stuffing a saw into their chest and then
fuck your sternum.
Yeah, that was intense.
So anyway, we make it all the way up to the first mini boss. You got to collect the ice plasmid. And that's pretty much what we got to so far. This guy's got a you know, a career in school, and he's got responsibilities, and so we had to kind of cut it off, and that's as far as we've gotten so far. So we're just going to call this part 1. Hopefully we'll be able to get back together and finish up the other parts.
I'm super excited, guys.
Anything else you want to put?
I think we have it all down on paper.
Any final thoughts?
So far so good. That's all I got to say right now. So far so good.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks for tuning in. If you like what you see, make sure to subscribe in this general area over here. And stay tuned for more interesting things from me and Jiro.
All right, guys. Hopefully, I'll see you guys soon. Peace.